like one. And we have Maya, Tashi. Can you on your camera so that we can
Maya and Tashi, and then we can take a group picture.
Yeah,
we'll get started. There could be some other people joining.
Yeah, if you can adjust, you move to the right a little bit because of the bright light at the back, so you turn out to be a bit blur. So we have a good picture we can.
That's better, yeah.
One day show to the professors around the world. Yeah, that's much better.
Okay, all right. Good, I think we have everyone. So big smiles. We're happy to be here. We're going to be seeing something amazing. So big smiles, thanks. Okay, here we go. Just looking at the camera.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Thank you. We'll see how that turned out. Hopefully, let me just check that.
Nice to see so many people there. And hopefully this will become a regular. From Cameroon, from Bhutan, from Australia, from Malaysia, from Brunei. So we have quite a few. We'll make up a little micro United Nations here. Yeah. And if you start including other countries later on, whom we have not had the chance to invite, I think you would get 10 countries. So these are really, truly wonderful experience sharing. Miro, you going to take some more picture, or you want to start? Or
I've taken the picture. I think the picture was okay. Let me double check that picture. Okay. All right. So welcome everyone to this Zoom. So the idea of this Zoom is not just for a demonstration of the demonstration of the runlinc is important because we're doing a live demonstration to show what can actually be done without having to have extra equipment, extra libraries, extra software, and are going to basically show what has been already shown to Gabriel. Gabriel is actually a computer engineering student, an international one, and I will let him introduce himself and what he has discovered about this technology, because this directly affects your project, because he also has been doing a project as well, an IoT project, and he has discovered something that will basically change the way that you think about how to do the project, and will be able to use your creativity rather than stuck on just technical issues. So Gabriel, if you can explain what actually happened.
Okay, thank you, Miro. Good afternoon from Cameroon. My name is Gabriel. Like Miro and Dr. Peng already introduced me, I'm a graduating student from the Department of Computer Engineering at TED University in Turkey. Yeah, so I just came home for vacations. So yeah, so I would like to first of all start by asking the questions. I think most of you are technologies, you are follow technological news, and what was the recent statement that was made by Elon Musk that shocked so many people? I think we all agree that Elon Musk made a statement that AI is the greatest risk to humanity. And I think I agree with him, as well as so many of you, I think also agree because of the applications of AI. So before this session, Dr. Peng just used a small illustrative example with water, where we know life depends on water, and water depends on microchip programming. And if life depends on water and water depends on microchip programming, and we know that microchip programming is the same like artificial intelligence, then suddenly we can easily realize that life depends on artificial intelligence. And so we are facing that big risk. And today, to maybe discover how we can better protect ourselves, better protect our environment, better protect our families. Like also Dr. Payne mentioned, one of the AI technologies that is destroying our communities are games. So we have students who are addicted to games and
Gabriel, excuse me. I think the sound went off a little bit. Can you try again?
The sound has gone low. Yeah,
okay,
Oh,
can
much
you get me now?
okay,
that's better. Yeah.
good. Thank you. Carry.
Okay. Yeah. So like I was saying, one of the AI technologies that has proven to be like so much addictive to us, it's the computer games. So many of us, maybe we have siblings or we ourselves are addicted to games. That takes a lot of, maybe much of our productivity time, and also maybe causes problems at home with our parents and family members, because we are just so much into these games. So we can say this is an example of how AI poses threat to humanity, because we used to have maybe a comfortable family life with our parents, but with such technologies, then it's beginning to become risky for us. Our parents become depressed, and because of how much into gaming we have gotten into. This is just a small example, and there are numerous examples all over the world. So I've been working on a graduation project for like 5 months, and the project is about a home automation system. I know, like during the introduction, I heard some of you're working on similar projects. So I thought sharing my experience will be very beneficial to you, and you understand why choosing the right technology is going to help you a lot. But before talking about this technology, I would like to also let you know that I am an AI mentor for the Central University Institute of Bamenda, and I've heard about the mentorship programs in the Royal in Bhutan. I don't know if Miro, you can talk a little bit about it.
Sure. Yes. So in Bhutan, the king has actually said that they want the whole country. They want STEM to be a part of the daily language, actually. So everyone has STEM. So the Royal University of Bhutan has actually started a university school AI skills transfer program, where the university students can actually help to get the AI IoT skills even into the high schools using the technology which I'm going to show you and Gabriel has also discovered. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, so we all know we are from maybe not very well developed countries, and becoming developed and digitalizing our countries is one of the top priorities of our leaders. Like Miro said about His Royal Majesty the King of Bhutan, like putting it at the top of their like objectives of this country. I believe it's almost the same thing in Cameroon, where the government is trying to enforce that STEM projects, and we are able to carry out training and skill transfer, like she illustrated skill transfer. So we are able to mentor other students. So I hope by the end of this meeting, we'll be able to create links between all the countries that are represented here for our various mentorship programs. So I'll be representing the Central University Institute of Bamenda, and I hope at the end we'll be able to have a link with other universities for this amazing digitalization opportunity. So now I will proceed to share my experience with you, but I would just like to ask a simple question. Maybe some of you are versed with coding languages or computer programming, and what are the qualities that a good programming language has? Or let's say I'll just take a popular language like the Python programming language. Do you know why it's so popular? Please, anyone can answer if you know the answer.
Max?
Yeah, okay. So maybe some people are shy.
Can you repeat, Gabriel?
Yeah.
Okay, I was asking if anyone knows the qualities of a good programming language, or why the Python programming language is so popular in particular. Okay, so maybe we are shy to answer, or is anyone trying to answer?
I want to share my opinion.
Yeah, please.
Oh, okay, yeah, please go ahead.
What already the Dr. Peng has highlighted about AI, the risks of AI. Our life depends on water, right? And the water depends on microchip programming. So microchip programming equals AI. So this is why the microchip programming, usually the programming is very important, because it is making equivalent to the AI, artificial intelligence. These programmings are constituting together. They are constructively forming artificial intelligence. I think that is the important factor we should consider.
Okay,
Sure.
thank you very much, Ratna. Yeah, so that was an excellent answer, and thank you for such a good answer. Yeah, but once we are talking about these programming languages, when I was listening to the introduction, some of you were talking about projects having a delay of 2 months, having a delay of 1 month. Okay, so what technologies can you use to reach these target deadlines? You cannot just use any random technology. You need to choose your technology wisely. Machine learning can be done in C and C++, but most institutions choose Python to do this because of the time it takes to develop such applications. Python is easier to develop machine learning applications than other native C or Java language. Okay, so I just want to highlight the importance. I don't know if you understand with me the importance of choosing the right technology. So I'll proceed right now to share you my experience with microchip programming. Like I said in the beginning, I've been working on a smart home project for 5 months. Now it's 7 months. Okay, yeah. So it's my graduation project. Okay, and I've been building using third-party softwares I don't know if you know about Remote XY. It's a third-party application which helps me to connect connect an ESP8266 microcontroller to an Arduino board. But one of my experiences using this was I had a lot of difficulties that even my teachers could not help me. Do you know why my teachers could not help me? Because they don't know this technology. They don't know this microchip, okay? They don't know this microchip, so they can only guide me in searching for a solution, but they couldn't help me find a bug or something like that. So it took me a lot of time, a lot of research, a lot of energy for me to finally complete this project, which was as simple as switching a light bulb online remotely. That is using your mobile device or the internet. So this took me quite a lot of time. And for example, I'm talking about 5 months. I've heard about a smart transport system. I've heard about a home automation system where you would like to complete this project in just 2 months, okay? And once I look at this and I think, is this even possible? If you compare the time and the amount of energy I put in to complete that simple project, is it possible to complete it in 2 months? You might think no, but the answer is yes. With the right technology, you'll be able to complete that. Yeah, so a few weeks ago, I had a discussion with Dr. Peng, and he introduced me to Miro. And I would like to tell you that the same technology I wanted to implement in switching my light bulb, that took me 5 months, took me more than 300 lines of code. I saw it being done with.
Gabriel, we can't hear
Yeah.
you. Yeah.
Okay. Can you get me now?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I would like to inform you that the same project which I tried doing for 5 months, which was difficult for my lecturers in the university to help me because they don't know the microcontroller I'm using. And because there are a lot of them outside there, and each of them have their data sheets. So for you to understand these microcontrollers, for you to understand the different modules that are involved in building a project with these microcontrollers become very, very difficult, such that my professor could only guide me, but he couldn't really assist me. So it took me a lot of time, a lot of energy, a lot of nights of debugging, a lot of nights of testing to make sure everything is working. But I got introduced to a technology that took just 2 lines of code. I mean it, just 2 lines of code to implement the same project. I was actually ashamed and amazed at the same time. I was like, okay, maybe I didn't do enough research to learn about this technology. But I was amazed of the fact that it is possible that such much work that is required in interfacing modules and connecting microcontrollers with third-party applications, which sometimes you are going to require a license for them, and you need to buy maybe multiple licenses to use to be able to complete a project. I could do it with just 2 lines of. So, and this technology is called runlinc. And today you're going to see a live demo of this technology. And I think this technology, and I believe that this technology is the way forward for us to change the STEM pedagogy, which wants 80% hands-on activity and just 20% theory. I took much of my time learning and learning and learning and learning and learning. The time I could take to develop projects which can help communities, projects which can help my family, projects which can make me rich. I spent that time in doing a lot of research, and sometimes I call it useless work, work that is not actually necessary. Yeah, so choosing the right technology is actually very important. And as an AI mentor for Cuba, that is the Central University Institute of Bamenda, you're going to, together with Miro, you're going to see a demo of such technology, and you also learn how you can build. You also learn how you can build an AI intruder alert system with just 6 lines of code. I mean, with a web page, once I say with a web page, means you have some HTML code there. So actually it can be less than that if you're taking off the HTML code, but you need a web interface or something like that. So I'm adding that there. And I don't know if there's anything you would like to ask me, or just open the floor for some questions. So maybe related to my experience and maybe this technology before you experience it.
Gabriel, I will ask you a question. Can you describe the 2 lines of code? First of all, I suppose 2 questions. Are the 2 lines of code very long so that it contains so much information? And secondly, are the 2 lines of code maybe libraries where you don't know how they work, for example? Can you describe them?
Yes. So these 2 lines of code was actually JavaScript code. JavaScript code with no libraries. I don't know, some of you have programmed in maybe JavaScript, or you have used frameworks like maybe React, where you need a lot of libraries to implement simple projects. And sometimes combining these libraries become very difficult. But these 2 lines of code were short pieces of code, short code snippets. I mean, very short, easy to understand, that even prompted me to visit 2 high schools in Cameroon. I visited the Rainbow Bilingual High School and the FEM Foundation High School, to introduce this technology to children, because anyone can learn this technology. This is at the Rainbow Bilingual High School. Yeah, to introduce this technology to students, because it's so much easy that everyone can learn it, no matter your age. And like I always tell Dr. Peng in my conversations, I was ashamed that these people, that children can learn this thing that took me, a computer engineer, a soon graduate. It took me months and years of experience to do this, but actually I can teach students, high school children, and they actually complete this task. So it's one of the greatest pride I have, discovering this technology, because it can help me in the mentorship program to transmit skill set. This picture was during one of our mentoring programs with the NEFTEC community in Boya. Yeah, because I'm also a mentor in this community. I mentor artificial intelligence, data science, and machine learning for university, Faculty of Engineering and Technology, NEFTEC community, university students.
Fantastic. So I suppose a natural question, so if I may jump in, is if we can introduce 6 lines to make intruder alarm for a smart home, compared to a few hundred lines and a lot of interfacing, like you say, configuration, making connection to libraries, different apps in order to do the same thing. How do you feel, even from Turkey, when you go back to Turkey for the last semester, that these students will be able to continue your mentorship? And hopefully, even students from Bhutan or from Brunei will be able to join together with you from Turkey to mentor the students in Cameroon. What do you think this would impact on the students' learning in terms
I
of?
think, okay, let me go ahead. So actually, like I already explained, I feel privileged already that I'm able to transmit such knowledge to students at a younger age. And in terms of like, I would like to also let you know, once I was introducing this technology at Firm Foundation Bilingual School, I had students that were already thinking about projects that can be done with such a system.
Amazing.
I mean, yes, just telling them that, okay, this is it, and how they saw the live demo, how it was easy to implement. They were already thinking that, okay, we can make an alarm such that when somebody passes through the door, it indicates, and when someone and it indicates to the teacher that someone is going out of the class or something like that. So I felt very happy that, okay, now we are trying to, with this technology, we will be able to increase the creativity of the students. And this is what our society demands more. We want students that are creative, students that are not stuck with a lot of theory, students that can spend more of their time thinking about creative solutions rather than maybe debugging a few hundred lines of code or trying to solve a bug. Yeah. Thank you.
Wonderful. I think it is irresistible to mention about the graphs from NASA. Miro, I'm not sure whether you can find the red graph, or Anna, Dave from Malaysia. I think you're familiar with the NASA creativity versus age graph. So what I remember from that graph is at 20 years old, according to their research, which is with many years and hundreds of thousands of people, the creativity for a 20-year-old student is about 2%. And what is creativity equals to, according to Google, Wikipedia? It's actually imagination and ideas that you need to use to solve problems. And so I also recall at about 10 years old, the creativity dropped from whatever, it starts maybe 100%, 90% to about 30%. So when you touch on creativity, I think all of us have to look around us. In Brunei, where I come from, in Bhutan, in Cameroon, is there, where do we fit into that graph? Is that about right that at 30%, a 10-year-old student's creativity has dropped to 30%? Meaning, what actually caused the problem? That's the graph? Thank you. Is that because we go to school to memorize? Is that because, like in my days, I hope it's no longer, but I think it could still be the same. Students don't encourage to ask questions. And if you don't ask questions, you'll be memorizing things to pass the exams. So how do we solve problem if we don't have ideas and imagination? So this graph is actually very, very powerful in terms of, let's say, if you want to fulfill the vision of His Majesty the King's decree on education reform in Bhutan, to make STEM a daily language, then you probably want to use something that can combine with the technology that can combine with this graph in order to solve problem. You see, transportation is solving problem. Weather is solving problem. Yeah. And your
Yes.
home automation is solving problem. And we just heard from live from a graduating computer engineering student that he went through an experience that he's sharing with you from a few hundred lines, 5 months, that could potentially reduce to a few days.
2 lines of code.
Amazing, isn't it? To be able to hear a story like this. First time ever I heard it. I know it's good, the technology, but for somebody who can credibly, personal experience, explain this, it is my first as well. Besides, I think all of you who are going into this area of programming and using microcontrollers to solve problems. Yeah, and so why I bring up a few ideas about the creativity part of it is a challenge to NASA. If that graph is from NASA, there are many sources. I think one that I've seen is actually from NASA, from America. And the question is whether my creativity, I'm curious, is zero. If at 20 years old, which are long past already, I'm 66, is at 2%, is my creativity then, looking at that graph, a 0%?
Negative, sir, negative.
Huh? Oh, negative, right? I hope I'm not negative because I won't be able to solve no problem. But then by asking questions like that, we started thinking about what we learned in school called the law of conservation of energy. Yeah. If the law of conservation of energy says that you cannot create or destroy energy, can you destroy my creativity energy? Is creativity a form of mental energy? Yeah, from the mind. If my mental energy cannot be destroyed because of the law says so, so I must not be zero. I may be 0.1% creative. Can I then recall that creativity from hibernation and plus my 60 plus years old of experiences to use it to solve problems? So if I can recall my creativity somehow using runlinc to solve problem, from 0.1% to 1%, that's 10 times more creative. Plus my 60 plus years old of experiences, I think I can go around the world solving a lot of problems. And indeed, I feel that way. So 8 billion people have the ability to recall their creativity from hibernation. Yeah, because it's not destroyed. It cannot be 0%. And who says so? The law says so. So 8 billion people can renew or recall their creativity to solve problems. And problem solving means you need ideas, right? Means creativity that you need to use in order, like Gabriel said, rather than looking for the bugs, months of time wasted, and not just looking for bugs, looking for modules to connect together to turn on the light on and off, to make the web page with 2 buttons. And all of you will probably need to control something in your transport, home automation, especially home automation, you need to on and off lights.
And sorry, before everyone leaves, we will actually do a live demonstration of this, so you can actually see this for yourself as well, just very soon. So please bear with us.
And so I'll just thought I'll conclude here, and let Miro go on. But I think the creativity component is critical, because if this applies to 8 billion people that can recall the creativity to solve problem, and you're using a platform to solve problem from primary school level, so that, because the other way to think about it is, if you don't go about solving problem and the kids start playing games about, I think with this, Gabriel started by saying what Elon Musk say about the risk of AI to humanity. I think one of the manifestation or the example of what artificial intelligence can do at home to children, and highlighted by United Nations, is the AI games. Yeah, and somebody there said just now, I think it's right now, isn't it, about microchip programming is actually artificial intelligence, because microchip is actually artificial brain. Programming is actually intelligence. So if those equal to each other, then anything that to do with microchip, including your games that need a microchip to run it, is artificial intelligence. So is that connecting to Elon Musk? Maybe you should ask him. Maybe you should tell him that you got the solution. Yeah, he actually defined a problem, that AI can destroy humanity. And someone, they say life depends on AI. In more simple terms than what he said. And the water is the source of proof. When you need microchip programming in order to filter and clean up the water and mix with chemicals for you to save to drink. So therefore, I think adding this together, creativity, AI destruction, with example of Christchurch 2 years ago, I think, of an Australian man went to New Zealand and killed 50 people on online games, live stream. Is that an example of risk of AI? Are those games AI games? I think it is. Yeah. And you could then go and do research later on how AI facial recognition, even today in Australia, in national program, discussion about ethics of AI. So it is something that you do in your college, in your university, in your schools, in your home, that is somehow controlled by AI. Yeah. So I'll hand it back to Miro. And any other questions, please put into the chat box for hopefully Gabriel to be able to share with you his very, very inspiring experience of selecting the right technology to save time. And so Miro, you can take over from there.
Sure. We will show you a demonstration. So what I'm going to do is I've sent a link to Gabriel actually, and then I will open my phone on Zoom, because then I can move around my camera on there and actually show you what is being controlled. There is a lamp here and a microchip, a Wi-Fi chip, and we can show you the connections on how the technology actually works. So that's just going to take a couple more minutes while I verify the page. So Pang, if you want, you can just continue for a couple of minutes, and then we'll just verify that, and that will be good. Sure.
Okay, rather than I continue, I'll ask a few questions. So would that be a possibility if Royal University of Bhutan school mentoring program connected to University Brunei Darussalam in Brunei, where we also have a king there, and then Cameroon University school mentoring program, and hopefully when Gabriel go back to Turkey, connect to TED University in Turkey, and Australia too. Obviously, we have actually done this before with 3,000 students making robots 2003 to 2007, 3,000 students. It's a massive program that win every competition that you can imagine, including entrepreneurial competitions. Because SIFE, Student in Free Enterprise Competition from America. We were engineering project called University School Mentoring. So when we entered that competition, we won the state competition, the national competition, and the went on to international competition. In enterprise business competition, so you can imagine if this Brunei University, Bhutan University, Cameroon University, Turkish University, Australian University, 5 countries already are named, all joined together and explain to Elon Musk that thanks definition of reminding us of what Professor Hawking has said before he passed away, the risk of AI to humanity. Then are we talking about tonight for Elon? Yeah, like I see Max here, computer science student who is actually creating algorithm for AI. Sure, you'll be possibly helping the banks to make more money one day using as we have a student, he had a job with the bank, a software engineering student, doing artificial intelligence for one of the largest banks in Australia, 12 months before he graduated. Because of this internship, by the way, we provide online internship now because of the COVID. So welcome to the world of internship besides doing your project, right? So that you can, most engineering courses have compulsory internship. Businesses, commerce, less so, but they also join us for internship because if they are marketing student, you can be marketing Gabriel's story and marketing with Elon Musk, you know. And so this, what do you call, idea sharing tonight, I think would expand rapidly. Yeah, because there's a lot of other things that we could explore and inform you tonight that we are actually connected, accredited by United Nations Economic Social Council through some of these students in Cameroon. Their parents are already accredited by United Nations Economic Social Council. Why I mention that is funding for your project. Yeah. And Jackson, I see him there, also here from Bamenda. And just briefly, I want to mention maybe in the next minute, is a smart home that is solar powered by 2 solar panels with 370 watts, charging lithium ion battery to power through an inverter to convert DC power to AC power to power television, a fan, security light, security camera, as well as internet, obviously. And in that smart home, what Jackson has demonstrated with his teacher is actually a smart school that provide quality education. Of you decide whether 6 lines of coding is called quality education or 300 lines. If 6 lines is quality education, then he has quality education in that smart home, which is United Nations SDG 4. Yeah. And then that quality education provided to the girls. Yeah. And that's a smart school can be just a desk and a chair with a Zoom laptop to connect to 10, 20 countries. Then with that quality education provided to the girls, could we double the human resource with 100% girls and 100% boys rather than 10% girls? At the moment in Australia, only 10% girls involved in STEM subjects. Bhutan want to make it daily language. Yeah. And so with that double of human resource, by providing quality education, then can we build smart, yeah, 1 tomato plant using artificial intelligence to change it from red to purple tomato so that you can sell plenty of tomatoes, and guided by Australian scientists through the Internet of Things. Yeah. So what about smart health that will deter the distraction of kids using AI games? So in a smart home, you already have implemented 5 of United Nations SDGs, Sustainable Development Goals. So with this, I'm sure Elon Musk could be funding $1 million. Hopefully he'll make $10 million out of it. So we need common students to work out the economics of this, the economic and the social impact by the humanities student. Yeah, the economic impact by the business students. So all students welcome your friends. Yeah, welcome your friends from all courses to this project. Yeah, Miro, are you ready there? Yeah, welcome.
Yes, we are ready. And Gabriel actually has the page open. Okay. And maybe I'll step through that smart home as well, which is an example of runlinc, because the smart home page was actually made by runlinc as well. So as you'll see, runlinc can actually even make web pages which includes the IoT and the AI in there. So being a web page can be anywhere. Okay, so let me show you what we have here as far as the hardware which will be controlled. So over here, I have a controller, and Gabriel will actually open the runlinc web page, which is hosted by this Wi-Fi chip here in Australia. So you see the red dot there. This is actually a microcomputer Wi-Fi chip, which is hosting web page runlinc software. And because it's connected to the controller over here, then it has access to the ports. So over here, there are port numbers. And one of the port numbers is connected to a blue wire, and the blue wire is an output. It's connected to a relay box, which is a magnetic switch, which can actually switch the lights, and then it can switch this light on over here. Okay, so this light will actually be turned on. So let me show you the page, which is already opened by Gabriel. So Gabriel has this page open. I have a copy of it over here. And Gabriel, you can hear me okay?
Yes, Miro, I can hear you. Okay,
excellent. So everyone else can hear you as well. So over here on this page are the ports. These are the connections. So the blue wire, which I just showed you, which connects to the relay box, is on port C4. So it is one of the screw terminals where you can connect the wire, and on the runlinc, then directly you can configure this as a digital output. So that C4 means that it will be a signal, output signal on the microcontroller. And as soon as it becomes a digital output, then you should see a red off button. Do you see a red off button on yours, Gabriel?
Yes, I see it, and I hope everyone can also see it.
Okay, all right. I didn't expect a red off button to come up on mine, but my computer still must be connecting to the chip. Okay, I'll be careful as well with this, but that's okay. So you have a red off button over here. So that red off button means that there is a signal on this blue wire, and the signal at the moment is off. So Gabriel, to test that signal, I want you to actually press the, okay, Gabriel has actually pressed the red off button, and now it's gone green, it's gone on. So there is now a signal on this wire here, which on the relay box has switched on the lamp, okay, from Cameroon at the moment, because he's opened the web page on this chip in Cameroon. It's actually posted on the internet in Cameroon. Now, Gabriel, what have you done just now?
I switched it off.
Switched it off, clicked it again, and it switched off.
Okay.
So we do that to check for the connections. So Gabriel has clicked on it again, and it's turned on and turned off again. Okay. So he has the direct access to this page. Okay. So this is a lamp, okay, here at the moment, but the lamp can also be, it can be a fan, it could be a pump, okay. So to control things like temperature, to pump water, to turn on air conditioning, etc. Today we are controlling a lamp here in Australia. So what we are going to do then is we're going to put in the word lamp under the name. Okay, so we put lamp under the name. What we have done in engineering terms is we've configured the port as a digital out, okay, which can take up a lot of code. We've also done some testing already on the port, checked for connections, make sure that everything is tested and connected, which can also take up a lot of time. And we have created a variable, which is a name, which is lamp, and that word lamp is connected to all of that onto that port. Okay. And we've done that without code. Just simply being able to do that graphically to make that connection. So the next thing we do is we also want to make a connection to one of the inputs. This is an output. We're going to use this connection, by the way, this word lamp in the code and also on the web page. So this code can go into JavaScript in the loop, and also there is HTML over here as well, which can create a web page. Okay, so that's an output. We can turn on and off, obviously, many things. We also have here a sensor. This is a light sensor. Okay, my light in here is in that direction over there. So this is actually away from the light. And this is connected to C7. So it has a voltage, 0 to 5 volts. The voltage is higher if there is more light on this sensor. So Gabriel, what I want you to do is go to C7 and configure the input sensor. Analog in, this is to convert the voltage into a digital signal. So if you click on analog in, then you actually see a number, like you see a number here, actually on my page as well. Okay. All right, I might. Yeah, I thought I was disconnected from this. All right, it's okay. All right. So Gabriel, do you see a number on your side as well?
Yeah, I think I see it as well as everyone.
Okay, so you see the same number?
Yes,
about
I
170
see one.
at the moment.
Yeah, 170.
Okay,
161. Yeah.
Okay, so the number actually is affected by the light on there, like I said. So Gabriel, do you think you can put some more light on my table, because I want the number to go up? Okay, I want the number to go up.
Of course.
So
let me
Gabriel,
send
please
some more light.
put some more light here in Australia so we can see if the number goes up. Okay, Gabriel is trying, but I think he has some difficulties. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to close my page because I thought my page was connected. So let me just.
Okay, it shows. Okay, now I am active.
Okay. I'm just going to, just change my page so it's not connected, because I think it was actually causing interference just now. We usually only have one page, because you can imagine if you have two web pages, one page says on and the other one says off, then obviously there's a conflict. So we open one page at a time. It is a direct connection. So let me just reopen another copy of that.
Okay, for example, you can see the number increase when I switch on the lamp. Wait, you can also notice, let me try switching it off.
So what number
you
did you
notice-
have? What number did you have just now, Gabriel? Let me just show the lamp.
Okay,
Okay,
let
this is the lamp.
me switch on the lamp so that you see the number.
Okay. So what number do you have
Yeah, maybe
now? What number
some
can
other
you
person
see?
can answer what they're seeing.
Okay, you're showing it on your screen. That's good. Let me have a look.
Okay, now I'm going to switch off the lamp. And we immediately see the number drops.
I can see a number has changed.
Yeah.
Okay, what if I cover my hand? Okay, so I'm going to cover my hand now. So if everyone can see Gabriel's screen, if you talk, it'll probably go to your screen.
Yeah, so right now you can see the number because Miro is covering the sensor, so the number drops down to about 10, 12.
Okay, I'm going to uncover it again.
And now we can see that the number rises after he removes his hand from the sensor.
Okay. So I've opened another page and just double check. Okay, I have no interference here. So you've got analog in on C7. What I want you to do, Gabriel, is actually put in the name sensor in there. Obviously, this is a light sensor, but also other sensors can also be a temperature sensor. It can be a moisture level sensor in the soil. It can be a distance sensor. Many sensors are 0 to 5 volts. In fact, we have a pH sensor, we have a conductivity sensor, temperature sensors on a biogas project that we're using runlinc directly at the moment as well, to create data from there as well. So this is the sensor. Okay, and we are taking numbers on this side from Gabriel in Cameroon.
I think all of you can see it, like we've given it a variable name sensor, and next to it you can see its current value. So right now we have connected two devices to two ports, in port C4 and port C7. So you remember in port C4 we have our lamp, and due to the fact it's a digital out, so digital, it can only take ones or zeros, so it has like an off signal currently. And in port C7, since we have an analog input, so it reads a number, and we can see the number here, and it represents the light intensity which the sensor is reading.
Okay, very good. So just to emphasize that, microcontrollers are digital computers. That means numbers. So they have to take a voltage and convert it into a number. So the numbers 0 to 5 volts has been scaled to 0 to 255, okay, which is 8 bits if you've actually learned about binary code. Okay, very good. So we're going to use now the sensor on the lamp. So what we want to do now is we want to see how easy it is to maybe create some simple code to see if we can read the sensor and we can turn on the lamp automatically. Okay, so at the moment we can read the sensor, and if it's up and down, we can manually change the lamp. But what if we want to do it automatically? So let's see how simple it is to do that. How many clicks or letters that is. So we need to make a decision to check. So we can use if directly, if. Okay, so me just doing this on my phone and juggling my one hand. So in the JavaScript loop, we're actually type in the letters if for a decision, and the instruction to the microcontroller is to decide if the sensor level is actually less than a certain value. So how we read the sensor level, we click the add macro, we do a measure the sensor again, analog in. So it needs to keep measuring the sensor. And the device is the sensor, which we have typed in. So the macros here will actually follow what we typed and there under the name, and then we simply click add macro, and it will then insert the analog into the sensor so that we can check, we measure the sensor, and then we can simply click backspace and check if it's less than a certain value. So maybe we can make this value say 100. Okay. So if it goes lower than 100, we want to turn on the lamp so it becomes dark. So press enter. So Gabriel, you have the same, the first line. Is that correct?
Yes, I have the same. I think, can everyone see it? So we just have like Miro describe an if statement which checks the value of the sensor if it's below 100, and now we want to do something with this information.
Okay. So Gabriel, you've done this before. You probably know how to do the next steps already.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so you
can
can
everyone
just
see Gabriel's screen?
And can you see the screen? Can everyone see my screen?
Let me just
Yes, I can.
Maybe I'll just pin your screen, and then everyone will make sure that they can see it. Okay. Everyone can see that now. So Gabriel, can you just show us how you got that code there? Because I didn't actually follow. So maybe if you can just show us quickly. Obviously, you put that in quickly.
Yeah, so firstly, I will just wipe it off. So we set a condition which we want to do something if this condition is met. So the condition was checking the sensor if it has a reading of less than 100. So what we want to do is switch on the lamp. So yeah, we know that there is less light. So I'm going to select the turn on function, and I choose the lamp, and I add a macro. So it's as easy as that, switching on the lamp. It's as just calling this function turn on, and with a variable named lamp, because we already gave this name to our light sensor. So right now, what happens if we have more light? So we want to switch off the lamp. So some of you're familiar to programming, so this can happen. It's like the alternative of our condition, which we write it in the else part. So I'll just do the same, turn off, and I select the lamp, and I add the macro. Okay. Anything you would like to add, Miro? Should I run
So
the
very
code?
good. So the code looks good, Gabriel. So do you know how to activate the code? Because I can certainly make the
Yes.
sensor go up and down over here. You have no access to the sensor in Cameroon, but the sensor is over here on my table.
Okay.
So
So
Gabriel
now
is
I'm going
pressing
to run
run
the
code.
code so that it.
Okay, and I will remove the spotlight so everyone can actually see my sensor. So what I'm doing now is covering the sensor to see whether if it goes under 100, then Gabriel's code should actually turn on my lamp automatically. So I'm covering the sensor and certainly the lamp turned on. Okay, and I uncover it and it turned off. Okay, so I'll spotlight Gabriel's page again so you can see what his page actually looks like when I do that. So Gabriel, if you can just show the number and the on-off button there on the lamp. So I'm going to cover it again. Okay, so I'm covering it and you can see the number goes down and the button actually shows on the web page that it actually turns on green. Okay, and the lamp is on here. And if I uncover it again, the number goes back up on the page and the lamp turns off and it's actually off here in Australia. His page is in Cameroon. Okay, so that's what we've done so far. That's a simple control, and actually that sort of control can be done with Industry Revolution 3.0 computer technology such as Arduino fairly simply, but what Arduino is very hard is actually to make it work across the internet like this, and secondly, to make it work on a web page. So the next step we're going to show you is to show you how we can use the HTML part of the page. So Gabriel, if you go up to the HTML, let me just go back to the page here. So everyone can see we have the JavaScript, and you can see I haven't put in the code. So Gabriel's in Cameroon has actually put in the code and was running that. So in the HTML, okay, Gabriel is actually quite familiar with HTML. So I am going to let Gabriel then create maybe a little heading on his page. Go back to the Zoom and I will highlight his screen again, spotlight for everyone so that everyone can see his page on the HTML, and you can see that Gabriel is actually creating a title. Gabriel, if you can describe what that is, the H1, text, etc.
Okay. For H1 is just like it's like a tag. So HTML language is made up of tags. So each tag describes some text or some parts, some representation of that page. So H1 is just the way of telling the browser that okay, this is a heading tag, so you're going to show it differently. And whatever I write between the H1 tags, it's what the browser is going to read in order to show it differently.
So Gabriel, we want to make a page for alarm control. So maybe you can create an alarm control web page with your name on it so that we can recognize that as well. That would be good.
Okay.
And just put in the title that it is an alarm control web page. So that web page then will actually be able to control things directly from that web page.
Yeah, so I've done that with the heading. As you can see, it's written Gabriel Alarm Control.
That's great, Gabriel. How would we actually check if that works directly? Because normally it might take quite a few steps just to check if that line of code actually works in HTML. How would we check that?
Well, it's easy. We just need to run the code and click at the bottom of the page. So we see it's actually appearing here. This is like a preview of the web page which I have created. So I just wrote the H1 tag and gave it some data like the heading. And after running the code, we can see it right down here.
Okay, that's great. So now, Gabriel, I want to you to actually connect in my buzzer. So there's a buzzer over here. Let me just show everyone where that is. So over here, there's a buzzer connected into port C5, and it is an output just like the lamp. So Gabriel, if you could configure then just like the lamp.
Which
that
port is
also
it
as a
in?
digital out. It is C5. I've connected the buzzer to C5. Okay.
So we can see it's a digital out. Okay, so we consider the buzzer like an output device because it's going to output sound or vibration. So then here we just give it a name, buzzer, and we can also see the status. It's showing that it's off, and I can try to turn it on so maybe you can.
Oh, that's very, very loud. You're going to have everybody come here. Okay, you better turn it off again. Okay, it sounds like a joke, but it's actually very late at night here, and it is actually quite loud. Okay,
Okay.
thanks. All right. That's okay. So anyway, so you can use that buzzer then in the HTML. So let's do that. So create another line of code, and we've just used normal JavaScript, which you can find on W3 Schools. You can use any JavaScript, and also HTML is normal as well. So we're going to create a normal button. So so Gabriel, if you can start a button, BUTTON, great, space. If we put in a space in there, and then we want the button when you click it to actually do something. So we need to use on click, lowercase, all lowercase, Gabriel.
All lowercase.
All lowercase, yeah. It is actually sensitive to upper and lowercase.
Yeah.
So on click,
Okay,
and then equals, and then in the quotations, we're going to put in the turn on command. Turn on with a capital O, and in the brackets, we put in the buzzer. Obviously, with the upper and lowercase needs to be correct as well. By the way, Gabriel never knew how to use this last week. I don't know if that surprised everyone, but he's actually quite comfortable to type this in without following me already. And yet, seriously, he only saw this last week for the first time. Is that right, Gabriel?
Yeah.
Okay, and he's been showing other people too. Okay, so let's have a closer look at your page, what you've done. So you've ended the quotation marks after the turn on buzzer, and then you've ended the button, and on the top you've got buzzer. Okay, maybe we can change the title, Gabriel. Just maybe call it alarm on, because what that button does is it actually turns on the alarm. Yeah, so on the top of the button, we'll want to put alarm on. Okay, if I can see your code a bit closer, let me see. It looks pretty good. So what you can do is do a stop code and run code, and then you can see whether it comes up on the page and whether that button on the test page actually works. So if you go down there, And if you actually click on that alarm on, does it actually turn on the buzzer, which is on port C5? It certainly does. Okay, you better turn it off. You haven't got an off button. So go up to where the green on is on C5 and just click on it. Okay, thank you. All right, you better make an off button as well so you can turn it off. If people come over here and ask me what's the alarm, I'll just have to say someone's controlling it from Cameroon.
Okay, there we go.
Okay, so you copied that and then changed it to alarm off. It works. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. You made that second button like within about 20 seconds. So that was pretty quick. So you cut and copied it, and then you just changed the turn on to turn off, and then alarm off at the top. Okay. So one thing that I want everyone to note is that Gabriel has not copied and pasted this off a document. He has not gone to any libraries. He has typed everything in from the beginning, from scratch. And how long did that just take you?
Just completing everything was just a few minutes.
Just the two buttons, yeah. Okay, because this was Gabriel's final year project to create buttons on a web page. But Gabriel, it's not actually on a web page. Just press the stop code. At the moment, it's just on the runlinc. If we actually wanted on a web page, we would have to put this project, turn it into an index file, put it up onto a server, put it up onto the internet. On the runlinc, you can do this with one button. Okay, seriously. So the button, if you go to board at the top and just press the send, that one. Okay, what that does is it sends the project back into the chip here in Australia, the editor file, so you can get the project back. If you click that, it'll also come up index file. The index file is actually the file then that is sent to the browser if there's any access to the chip from the internet. The browser will send an index file to open up the page, which is now saved there. So if we click OK, okay. So what I'm going to do, Gabriel, is actually I'm going to ask young Maxwell to open your page. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to send the link to Maxwell, and I'm going to see whether Maxwell can actually open the page. So let me see. Maxwell, are you there? Are you ready to receive a page? Can you hear me, Maxwell? Are you there? Is he still with us?
I don't think so.
Oh, Maxwell is gone. Okay, so who else is going to then try to open the page which has just been put up onto the internet? Someone that hasn't done this before. Someone maybe from the Bhutan group. Who's actually still there from the Bhutan group? Rathna. Rathna, okay. I'm going to send you the link to the chip on the private chat, because we only want one person to be able to turn it on and off at a time. Otherwise, on and off buttons will conflict. So let me just type in then the internet link to my chip. .me. Okay, so Rathna is going to open that page, and hopefully can also share that page with us as to what that looks like. Can you see that, Rathna?
Yes, sir. I got the link. I'm going to open it, sir. Wait, sir.
Okay. What does the link say when you open that page?
Yes, sir. I'm opening. It's loading, sir. It says Gabriel Alarm Control.
Okay, Gabriel's alarm control webpage, the one that you just saw on his runlinc. Okay, and does it have two buttons on there? Alarm
Yes,
on,
sir.
alarm off?
Yes, sir.
Okay, well, I suppose you can try it then from Bhutan. Okay, Gabriel is in Cameroon, you're in Bhutan, but let's see if we can turn on my buzzer in Australia.
So shall I turn on, sir?
Yeah, press the alarm on. Okay, not for too long.
I did, sir. I
Okay, okay, I can hear it. Press the alarm off. Okay,
did it.
okay, definitely works. I'm also going to check whether the code actually works on your page. So what I'm going to do is just turn around. If I actually put my hand over the sensor, then you should actually have JavaScript still on that page that you're running. And if I cover, you can see the light actually turns on and it turns off as well. So the JavaScript is also running on your page as well. Okay. So Gabriel's project, which he said took him 5 months, was actually to do what, Gabriel? What did you actually have to do? Your project at the uni? Can you just say that again?
It was to switch on and off electric bulbs in the house over the internet or over a mobile device.
Okay. So how long did that take just now? All right. So this is why Gabriel was so amazed, because he had to go through the whole process and it took so long. Okay, you're testing it again, are you? All right. Okay. Yeah, there's no trick to this. It really is controlled, and we're not making this up. All right. So yeah, so we don't want the students there in Bhutan. There's 3 students doing group projects. We don't want them to waste their time. What do you think, Rathna?
Yes, sir.
Maybe we'll get some feedback from them. See what they think.
Yes, sir. I didn't get so.
So my question is, would you rather use this technology or spend 5 months to do it?
Oh, yes, sir. Definitely, sir. The technology.
Okay, and if you didn't have this technology, what do you think would happen? Same as Gabriel.
The Gabriel story would still be, it will be like a Gabriel story, sir. 300 lines of coding, sir. We wouldn't have achieved the quality education that His Majesty aspire as an educational reform. So I think that the runlinc technology, so it's what we say, a blessing to us, sir. It's making our work faster, easier. So definitely, sir, we will be using stem cell, this runlinc technology, and we will help others, the students, the younger generation, the primary school level students use this technology, sir.
Can I maybe ask Ratna and his team, his colleagues from Royal University of Bhutan, whether it would be a good idea to invite Gabriel as an artificial intelligence mentor, that he is already one, to be mentoring, to join together with Miro as guest mentors to the project. How would that benefit your project if AI mentor, Gabriel, is able to join you to mentor not just your projects, but to the schools, student like you just mentioned, primary school, high school. How would that help to reduce the time of your digitization of Bhutan as part of the education reform as decreed by His Majesty the King of Bhutan? Would an inclusion of Gabriel, who has a real life experience that is shared tonight, so inspiring, would that help to reduce the time of making STEM a daily language?
Yes, sir. Definitely, sir, I guess. So, usually, sir, a student in Bhutan, usually they get inspired by stories. What they want is a wonderful, inspiring story, sir. So Gabriel has that story, sir. So I think, sir, Gabriel in joining the
maybe I can ask the same question to Faris from Brunei. What do you think if Gabriel is able to one day say a few words to a Zoom conference that is attended by Royal University of Bhutan, but this time hosted by, together with Miro, by University of Brunei Darussalam. What do you think, Faris? Would that be a good idea to include a live story from, real life story from Gabriel? How did you feel about it in the first place tonight? Let's get some feedback from Brunei.
I actually feel very inspired from his stories, and I believe that people will also be inspired with how simple and how short time to just code the 300 lines to 6 or just less. So that's very inspiring. Yeah.
I think this, thank you, Faris, thank you from Brunei. I think this inspiration can be translated into action of, it will mobilize a nation. I mean, Bhutan is trying to mobilize itself with the leadership of the king to try to digitize Bhutan. And the solution is to make STEM a daily language, the king said. But to implement that solution is what you heard from a third party called Gabriel. Yeah, we only got to know Gabriel less than 10 days. So imagine your education directors, ministers, hearing live. They will very quickly, from the Economic Development Board, they will very quickly start playing with numbers. How much time can be saved? Time is money. And don't forget, money is already invested at the moment to try to digitize Bhutan, Brunei, Australia, Bangladesh, Malaysia. Imagine this Gabriel story is repeated 100,000 times, 1 million times, 100 million times at the moment. How much money can be saved? How much creativity can be used to solve problems from 10-year-old kids upwards in the next few years? Target 5 years. Make a master plan from Bhutan to Brunei to Cameroon, yeah, of the social economic impact on a canvas. They call it a canvas. For me, it's just left page on an exercise book and right page on another exercise book. You know, and with runlinc and without runlinc, and start measuring it over the next 5 years and see whether you see the change. of an economy. Because if you can do that so-called research, right? We call it a research of the socio-economic impact of a process called university school skills transfer. And as I read it, Bhutan, Cameroon, Uganda are 3 of the 47 least developed countries in the world, according to the ranking of United Nations. And see whether these 3 countries, or at least Bhutan and Cameroon, can demonstrate to the world that least developed countries have already the ability to prove by research technology invented in Australia is more effective than other technologies that can save you a lot of money, billions of dollars actually. If you look at the scale of this problem, it is a problem. Define it as an economic problem, economic loss of what Gabriel has just outlined tonight. 5 months compared to even 5 weeks, which I don't think you need 5 weeks to turn on and off lights with 2 lines of code.
Days, sir, a day.
5 days maybe. From knowing nothing about this, Gabriel has 4 years almost of preparation. So it's a blessing for all of us that he has this experience that he's sharing with us tonight. And one Faris from Brunei say it's very inspiring. I'm sure all the Bhutanese students say the same thing. And as you progress, you see this source of inspiration will translate into figures in economic and social impact. And imagine the amount of other money you save from the online games, which the director of UNICEF, Children's Fund, Children's United Nations Children's Fund says the amount of damage done by artificial intelligence games during the pandemic lockdown is tremendous. Tremendous. Is this then your calculation, your experience to demonstrate we can reduce that loss and put to good use? I mean, collectively, if you start thinking like that, the economic social impact, the United Nations have an agency called United Nations ECOSOC, Economic Social Council, which Cameroon students, parents are part of this foundation that's accredited by United Nations ECOSOC.
So we just have Jesse just joined us. So Jesse, can you just explain who you are, just so that we know as well?
Hello.
Okay,
I'm Jesse. I'm Jesse Herbert's friend. I was once with you guys some time ago.
Okay, all right, very good. You're also in Cameroon or somewhere else?
Cameroon.
Okay, very good. Okay, excellent. So, Rathna, maybe you can explain to Jesse what you just seen on this Zoom so far and what you've been able to do.
So, JC, if I brief you about the Zoom session today. So first of all, we have a wonderful story from Mr. Gabriel. It's his story, his identification of the new technology that really inspired the whole world. And after that, we have a demonstration on the bazaar, the automatic turn on and off of a light, using the home automation system using a runlinc technology. So we
Okay.
can access that technology on the web page or globally. Even you can control from your home using your personal computer and all. So that was the brief session that we had on Zoom. So thank you.
Yeah, I
Okay.
think that's wonderful, Ratna. If I can't say something about Bhutan, for everybody's benefit. What Ratna has said about his experience with Gabriel is actually also proven by Bhutan's Royal University of Bhutan. There was a research, a comparative research conducted by the head of department jointly with a Sri Lankan AI professor, Nalin. And that research paper was blind reviewed by IEEE of Canada, this paper, and accepted for IEEE conference last year. So this paper is further proof in writing of what Gabriel has said tonight. But of course, this paper needs a lot of reading, which has some conclusion there that say what you have witnessed tonight is actually more effective than compatible technologies. Very comprehensive, with input from Malaysia. So Ratna can take comfort that you guys have actually contributed strongly, greatly to this story that you just heard from a person who has experienced it himself, Gabriel. And so more and more of these then need to be action on, instead of remaining as a research paper, instead of remaining as an inspiration from Gabriel, it has to be translated into action in order to mitigate, reduce the chance of what Elon Musk say, AI is the biggest risk to humanity. So look at it from that point of view, your home automation, your weather project, your intelligent transport project, as what is the long-term purpose of what you're doing in the next 2 months. So as I said, an invitation to share this international experience with Gabriel, experience as a mentor, AI mentor for your program, university school mentoring program that he has now effected in Cameroon through the Central University Institute of Bamenda, together with the Firm Foundation Secondary School, which is already started in Bhutan, funded by the Royal University of Bhutan as part of the Majesty the King's education reform to digitize Bhutan, to make STEM a daily language. You got a choice there of what you've seen tonight, of 6 lines of code to make an artificial intelligence, Internet of Things, STEM, intruder alarm. With 1 line of code, you can connect your laptop to a camera, to the smart farm in Bhutan, or the weather station in Bhutan that these students are building.
Webcam.
Yeah, or a second-hand mobile camera. And 2 lines of code, you can make the web page that Gabriel described. Took him months of interfacing, configuring different apps. And what chance have a 10-year-old kid in schools in Bhutan, in Brunei, in Cameroon, in America, in Australia have? Try to relate that to the kids in school of what Gabriel has mentioned tonight. What chance have they got? They give up and they start playing AI games. And add on to the confirmation of AI is the biggest risk to humanity. And the economic impact of the loss of time. While the machines are getting more clever talking to each other. Some courts already approved copyrights to machines, AI machines, or articles that they write. Machine made by human, copyright given to the machine. Imagine billions of machines that do not sleep, do not get tired or sick, do not need to eat even. Day and night, 7/24, writing articles. Any articles you can imagine. Would you be one day infringing their rights? Would that limit your creativity? Would they become more creative than you en masse? AI facial recognition already creating human slaves. It's just like the cows in Australia. When they were born, we put a AI chip in the ear from the time it go to the slaughterhouse. Every bit of information from your DNA to your relatives' data will be in that chip. And facial recognition will be able to decide what is your social credit between 0% and 100%. Of course, it's a good thing to stop crime. But if you don't have laws, like Elon Musk said, that govern this sort of thing, in a few years' time, you may have this sort of problem. AI FR, facial recognition, AI copyright, AI water, Ratna said, AI Uber, that can destroy a taxi industry.
Peng, Gabriel told me that he has to be somewhere else, I think in a few minutes as well, another meeting.
Sure.
So maybe he can just say goodbye, a few concluding words.
Yeah, please, Gabriel, the stage is yours. And thank you.
Let's take a screenshot.
Yeah, let's take a screenshot.
Let's take a screenshot because there's more people here. That's a good idea. So turn on everyone's camera.
That's okay, Juan. Don't worry. I will get another. We'll Photoshop it and put you in.
Okay.
And there's one, who is it there? Yashi. Yeah. Thank you. Appreciate it.
And Maya?
Purba, Wang Chuk, I would say, Wang Chen. Can't see it properly. Can we just quickly turn on the camera if you can and take a group shot?
Just taking a group shot.
Thank you,
good.
Purba. And we got Maya, Lal. Can you hear us, Lal? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
Very good. Okay. All right. Big smiles. we all enjoyed it today. Okay, very good. Okay, big smiles. I think that's pretty good. Let me just check that.
Wonderful. This is quite a little United Nations growing in its, I think today a micro United Nation is born. An AI United Nations. Yeah. We have about how many countries? We got 5 countries. Yeah, that's a start.
Okay, and before we go, just like everyone to have a thumbs up if they think that they like their technology. Okay, thumbs up on the screen. Okay, Gabriel, you're still with us?
All-time best.
Yes, I'm still with you.
Ratna, you want to give a
Okay.
thumbs up?
Runlinc, all-time best.
Okay, very good. We'll do a screen capture. Okay, other two.
Ratna?
Wan, you can actually use the logo, the little reaction up on there as well.
One, you can put a thumbs up there.
Put the thumbs up there. Yeah. All right. Everyone thumbs up. Get a picture. Okay. Gabriel is actually going to the Australian High Commission to see the people there be able to see
Wonderful.
your thumbs up. Yeah.
Thank you, one. I can see one thumbs up.
Thank you. I'll just see how that's turned out.
We'll send it to Professor Yunus, the Nobel laureate from Bangladesh. He's talking about AI disruption too, from the economic and social impact point of view.
I would like
Okay,
to
very
thank
good.
you all for joining today's session. And I hope my story inspires you and think about your technologies which you're going to choose in whatever project you want to begin. It's always important to search if you're using the best technologies that can help you deliver solutions faster and that are less stressful for you so that you can focus more on your creativity and productivity. And right now, I also have another meeting which I'll need to attend. So thank you all for today. And it was nice meeting with you guys from different parts of the world.
Thank you so
Gabriel.
much,
Yeah.
Gabriel, for the demonstration. It will change a lot of people's life. And I just got Paula apologizing that she was in the church, so she just missed it. That's okay. So we'll have another Zoom, maybe this time organized by Bhutan, and then maybe from Brunei. Let's go forward. Thank you again, Gabriel.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye for now.
Right.
Bye.
Bye.
So for those who are still with us, perhaps if you seriously, this is an open floor. It's an open discussion. Please feel free to share your ideas, any at all, so that we can all learn from this experience. Anybody want to take a lead? Herbert, Emma, Jesse? Jesse still there?
No ideas. No ideas yet. I'm still getting to know this, so I think I'll just watch and learn.
Sure. I'm sure there's so many here that we can solve problem together quickly. You know,
Yeah.
Gabriel is a one-man show in Turkey. Imagine tonight, so many of us can solve a problem together Yeah, he said a few days, you will take a few hours to solve a problem. But he took months. So this team building is crucial for whatever reason, whether it's for Elon Musk to solve his problem, to solve our problem, it's a humanity problem, to solve your graduate employability problem. Tonight picture, I think, would be very useful if you put it into your CV and explain to your prospective employers what actually happened on the 7th of March, 2021. This is the first time we ever discussed something like that. Even though we had a conference together with the Royal University of Bhutan, 80 people attended that with 2 vice chancellors. And this is really the beginning of a very important confirmation, affirmation that we're on the right track. You know, we know it's good, but now we have heard in real world application of a person who has, if you want to calculate his suffering, it's 5 months of difficult time, uncertain time. He's able to survive this. A lot of people would have walked away. And he was determined enough to get through 5 months to get his project done. But look at the trouble he went into. And as I said, extend that to the private. You want to force feed them with 300 plus lines instead of 6 lines, call it force feeding. Because AI is so important, you have to force feed it. Which one is better to force feed, 6 lines or 300 lines to a 10-year-old boy or girl? Because from there, you can extend it to anything you want. As I said, gender equality become a big problem that there's no easy solution, but potentially girls will be able to engage themselves with this and become women in leadership. Help a Malaysian minister of, she's a lady, she's a woman, Minister of Smart City, local government, who's asked, his advisor has asked us to help her to make a trip to Bhutan after the pandemic to present her strategy of gender equality using this technology. So those input.
Sorry, Peng. Emma has been with us this time, and maybe she can also give us a little bit of feedback on what she thinks, especially for the girls as well. Because I think this is the first time she's heard from Gabriel as well, who is obviously there in Cameroon. So have you got any feedback for us, Emma, especially for the gender equality in girls? What do you think?
What I think is that I'll try on my part to like introduce more of my friends, my female friends, to this new technology, because I really see it really helps a lot. Like for the short while that I've been here, I've learned a lot, very much, and it's really helpful and useful to me.
That's a good start. I think Maya, if you're listening to Emma, you two can join together and write a short letter to the Minister of Malaysia, who is in charge of smart city, local government, the whole country, 30 million people in Malaysia, and work together to help her to come to Bhutan. Of course, we'll be helping you too, because we have been working in Bhutan for a long time. Never been to Bhutan, but through WhatsApp and Zoom, that this minister's advisor has requested for us to arrange for the minister to come to Bhutan to present gender equality and women in leadership using this technology. See how far and how high you can connect. besides your project. Your project is only a door opener to the world. And the world includes ministers. So Emma, Mildred, Rufaida, Pavana, from 15 years old to 20 years old, with Maya from Bhutan. I'm not sure other girls involved in Bhutan. This is it. You guys would be able to be helped by Miro, Gabriel especially, to increase the girls' participation in making STEM a daily language. And tell the Minister of City in Malaysia your strategy. And Maya, if she knows people or your lecturers, like what is her name? The lecturer, is that Tandin? The one in the work.
Tandin Zaumo.
Yeah, Tandin. So Tandin is an adult teacher together with Maya, Lal, and other girls together with from Cameroon, from Brunei, from Malaysia. Welcome the minister, and you guys can arrange for her if there's any chance to visit your university.
Yes.
Yeah, because this would really have some reason we want to be talking about things like that tonight to solve the United Nations problem of gender equality. Increase girls' participation. In Australia itself, it's only about 10% girls in STEM. And we've been trying for years. We couldn't increase it. Institutions of engineers, government, putting money into, because it doesn't make sense to only have 10 girls and 100 boys to build an economy. 10% girls and 100% boys. Why not 100% girls using this technology, 6 lines of code to inspire them from about 6 years old, 8 years old? And link it to the creativity, because very quickly, the 8 years old will become 10 years old and the creativity will drop to 30%. Use this sort of argument with the ministers. Write it down, send it to her. Put in the graph. Ask her where she stands. Minister, do you know what is your creativity? She'll say 0. Then you have a chance to answer her already, not 0. We think it's not 0. We think the law of conservation of energy say it cannot be 0. And you are the minister. So you have superpower. And you guys can go to Malaysia and give lectures. She'll take you there. See, it works all ways, not just 2 ways or 1 way, every way, especially through Zoom now. So really, I think it's endless, limitless. Why would a minister's advisor ask us to arrange for her to come to Bhutan to present her ideas using runlinc? 30 million population compared to 700,000. Brunei, I think, is 500,000. And of course, Brunei, Malaysia are joined up with ASEAN, 11 countries. And there you have, I don't know, close to 1 billion people. So all these are numbers game in order to provide a proper solution to Elon Musk idea, problem of AI posing a risk to humanity. Humanity means everybody, 8 billion people. As I said again and again, I'm just sharing with you what I read. The destruction already started at home. And it's called AI addiction. AI drugs. Maybe it's the best way to put it. Yeah, you got opium drugs. Remember we said you got AI facial recognition, AI FR, everything starts with AI. You have no choice. If what we have discussed tonight, microchip programming is equal to artificial intelligence, then everything is connected that you touch, your car, your mobile phone, your satellites, your aeroplanes, your microwave at home has a microchip. That is artificial intelligence. A little bit, some of them are very big. Without AI, you think you would have made the medicine, the vaccine to stop this virus. So is there such thing as AI virus? AI facial recognition, AI water, AI Alibaba. Everything is AI. So use your things. The girls, your natural strength is being a girl, defined by United Nations, that you have a problem, but you have the solution too, that they do not know. So you have a surprise for these people. They're just like you, they're humans, but they do not know the secret that you know as of tonight.
Yeah.
So go
Dr.
ahead.
Peng, let me interrupt.
Yeah, please go ahead, Herbert.
So, Fuad Nevis, the CEO of Neftec, Greg Gabriel, is currently a mentor in artificial intelligence. He came on the Zoom.
Oh.
So he was present, he saw what we were doing.
Yep. Has he made any comment? Is he still there?
No, he left.
Okay.
So I think he's really not interested in the new technology. I don't know why.
What made you say that? Have
So,
you spoken to him?
Yeah, he came online and left.
Okay. But have you are from the same university? He graduated,
Yes.
right? But did you,
Yes.
I mean, he all the information because of not interested. But if he's interested to hear from Gabriel, he's the best person to share information with him, not to force him to accept it.
Yeah.
And he has to check it out himself. It's good that you notice your colleagues on this Zoom, because I don't know who they are. Even Jesse said it's been, I can't remember. There's too many people.
Top J. Jesse is Top J from one of our Zoom conferences.
From Boya University?
Yes. Electrical engineering.
Graduating or first, second year or what?
First year.
First year also. Nice. Welcome, Jesse. So this sort of thing take a collective team of people in order to show the truth. Show the truth. We can't force people to accept the truth.
I think we'll take it upon.
Pardon?
I think we'll take it upon ourselves as a challenge to prove to Nevis and the community that this technology is the best.
Absolutely. And you got a few countries here to help you to prove that. Not a few. Yeah, you got Bhutan, who has done the research paper. It's not something that they say, it's a good technology, use it. No, man. Yeah, they spend months doing that together with a Sri Lankan AI professor teaching in Russia. And IEEE blind review. No name was given. They just look at the paper. They say, wow, this is good enough. Pass it for Zoom conference. IEEE Canada. And then now you have Nervis. Yeah, sharing his real life experience of how difficult it is when professors say that, look, I don't know the chips enough, the microcontroller, and there are pages and pages of data sheet. You go and study it yourself because we don't have the time to use C++. Yeah, text-based language. But you see, he himself took months. The professor similarly would take a long time too. They don't have the time. So end up with Nervis from Cameroon in Turkey, having to do that all by himself, which luckily he did that because you guys benefit from his very unpleasant experience. Very unpleasant experience, right? Which we should appreciate it from the bottom of heart that he's able to share it with us, all by accident. Yeah. And so I'm sure, as I said, if we invite him as a mentor observer for the Royal University of Bhutan School Mentoring Program, you will see very quickly His Royal Highness, His Majesty, the King's people will be watching and reaching out to extend this Bhutan story internationally. So you got even a king who potentially will support you, Herbert, to convince Nervous. Because the simple question is that only a few of us that can rebuild, let's say, contribute to Bhutan's digitization, or you need maybe 100,000 students in school for the next, in order for them to prepare themselves for this new challenge of AI everywhere, including something that they cannot control. Is so addictive. And this originates from Bhutan, a United Nations Children's Fund director in Bhutan, Wills Park, his name is called Wills Park, is actually sent to me by Sangye sir. This Sangye is a miracle worker. For those of you who know him, well, all you need to do is send me information and then we share together. And I said, wow, you got United Nations saying the threat of AI games in homes during the pandemic. Immediately, Sonam inspired, just like Gabriel inspired all of us tonight, Sonam inspired all of us with his story, his journey. Always thank people who've been through the hard time. You guys will be able to repeat what Sonam did. I don't think you want to repeat what Gabriel did. So thank them for doing you a favor so that you don't have to go through the hardship that they all went through. And Sonam inspired a young person who is fully addicted to games, 10 hours per day. During the pandemic for 3 months, that is enough to destroy his family. Who say this runlinc technology saved their lives, saved their lives. If they can articulate it as clearly as Gabriel tonight, Elon Musk will throw you the money because he's going to make a lot of money out of it. He give you $1, he can make 100. Through this story of Gabriel and Arifin and you guys. This is how the real world works. He challenged our chief minister. You have a total blackout, I see in the news. I will build you a battery bank, $50 million within 100 days. If I can't deliver in 100 days, I will give it to you for free. If it is 101 days, he said. And guess what? We said, yes, let's have a deal. And it delivered in less than 100 days. And we have a battery bank in South Australia that have always power now, regardless of how the generators connect to each other. If the generators cannot synchronize, you have problem because our generators come from different states, from Melbourne to Adelaide, not just local generator. When you have problem with power, right? And it couldn't synchronize, it couldn't connect. So we have never had total blackout before because it's a very major storm. And so Elon Musk saw it, this AI man, and he challenged our government and say, 50 million I take if I give you within 100 days. That will never have blackouts again. using battery, lithium-ion battery. And he won the bet. So he made $50 million in 100 days. What's wrong with him testing you again and give you $1 million and see whether you can make $10 million for him? That's Elon Musk. That's how they make $1 trillion. By going around the world challenging government and say to NASA, I can put your satellites into the space with my rocket that will come back to Earth. And he made hundreds of millions of dollars. With that money, now he's going to Mars. Thus, during your time, 2021, you're witnessing it now. But does he have the solution that he said, the problem? No. Not at 10 years old. That you guys can teach to have a 5-year head start. By the time they're 15, not 20 even, they will be as capable as what you're doing now in IoT project. Measure that. Tell Elon Musk about it. Tell the Zuraida, the minister from Malaysia. She's building smart city. And in Bamenda, already we have an example of a smart home that have a smart school that has only one desk and one chair and a laptop with Zoom that connect to 5-10 countries. So we call that a smart school. What's wrong with a smart school? One table and one chair that can connect to 10 countries. And teaching 6 lines of code is better than 300 lines. And with that quality education, that double the human resource by increasing the number of girls' participation. Inside the house, no need to go to school. School in Cameroon, in Bhutan, you can't learn this at the moment. Only in the smart home, so far we have one in Bamenda. Jackson's and his teacher demonstrated it. So with the double of human resource, you then go on to build anything you want, including smart farm, make the red tomato go purple. With help from Australia professors specializing in horticulture. They have make red rose into purple rose. So they can, I believe, make the tomato look purple too if you want to. With one single tomato, research using artificial intelligence and Internet of Things to connect with specialists in Australia, in America, wherever, in Cameroon. You know, the first seedling of oil palm, is it oil palm or palm oil? Oil palm tree actually come from Cameroon. And now you have a whole mountain of oil palms in Malaysia. So see this international connection already a long time happening, but this is accelerated by AI now. So smart health, a desk, a chair, and a laptop, replace those AI games, destructive, addictive AI games with 6 lines of code to make intruder alarm that will tell you police on the way. Your photo has been sent to the police. Run or you go to jail. 8-year-old kids can type that in as their project. So right now you got a project in school already. Yeah, when you do mentoring, the first project is an intruder alarm for your intelligent transport project.
Yes, sir.
How you use these case studies with the primary and show it to your Majesty's people. What you mean by your strategy to make STEM a daily language in schools.
Yes, sir. We will, sir.
And set your target. Don't wait for Sange, he's too busy. Start doing that now with Gabriel. Zoom onto a primary school. At home even, not at the school. Just pick a primary school student who is 10 years old. Solve problem, don't sit on problem. Kick it around. And if you can't find a student in Bhutan, we'll find it in Cameroon. I have no doubt. It's only a question whether to ask the king's people whether he will employ Gabriel as an AI mentor for Bhutan to make STEM silly language. Because it's not just a payment, it will be an investment that have a return, big return. You work it out, the return for your king. If they employ, hey, Gabriel to become a mentor. Because this is highly exportable. Who would object to a king calling them? Elon Musk will fly to Bhutan. Oh, why not? You tell the king, don't tell him the solution until he come to Bhutan. If not, nobody will. Yes. We challenge you. You don't have the solution. We have it. Tell Elon Musk. Don't just give it to him for free. Your king is asking you to be entrepreneur. How could you give something for free? You get zero coming back.
Yes.
Your king will fail you, give you a big fat zero.
Our compassion, our religion is really so. Our religion matters, sir.
Yeah, but Elon Musk like a challenge. I mean, to come to listen to the kings and his people to present the solution to AI, the biggest risk to humanity. As soon as the pandemic is over, he will fly there. So you have 3 teams there, prepare the letter. Dear Elon Musk, we have the solution to your problem that you define. Thank you very much. But please come to Bhutan to listen to our solution. And please give us a lecture of when can we go to Mars with you?
Thank you, sir.
See, ordinary English. That is the solution to a complex problem, is to make ordinary communication. Yeah, ask him to give a lecture. He will come. And ask him to leave behind $1 million US and show him how he can get back 10 million. There's no problem in getting jobs if jobs is what you want. That's what you go to uni for, is to learn how to solve problems. Problem solving is only to show people what he cannot do, you can. Yeah, you can make $10 million out of his $1 million is problem solving. Show him how. Show him what Gabriel said. Show him what Sangye research is about. Show him what the king wants to do for Bhutan. See whether he can, you call it lend a hand. See whether he can partner with Bhutan. Not lending a hand as if we need his charity. You have the solution he hasn't got. Start thinking. Never stop thinking that you don't have a solution. Start thinking you have something he doesn't have. And see whether your mental state will change, your conscious level will change. According to Einstein, if you don't change your conscious level, you'll never be able to solve no problem. He said that 100 years ago. Go and prove to yourself whether that is changing conscious level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Dr. Peng, I'll be running.
Sorry? Herbert is saying.
I'll be running along now.
Watch the cars. Don't run into the road. Very well done.
See you guys.
You've done extremely well, all of you. So let's reconnect soon. And we have a lot more of this Zoom connection. It's just time. And such a powerful idea sharing with young, youthful brains to help me to recall my creativity from 0.1% to 1%. I like it.
From 0 to 1%, sir.
No, not zero. The law said I was never zero. The graph,
Yes, sir.
then you can write NASA too and test them. Do you think Dr. Peng's creativity is 0 at 66? Challenge them. Solve that problem because it was never mentioned clearly in the graph. So I have to read it as 0. But is it really 0? You question it. You prove whether mental energy is creativity. Is there any proof that I'm more creative now? Am I saying things that make sense to you that you never know? Is that the ruler of creativity? Idea. How many fresh ideas have I said that confirm that my creativity is not bad compared to many people, compared to the graph? So am I on the way backwards onto the graph? From 0.1 to 1, maybe to 2%. I'll be 20 years old like you. Mentally. Don't forget,
Yes, sir.
I have an
Creative
advantage.
is
Don't forget, always add this on. That is not the end. Don't just look at the graph. Look at the physical age. Because I'm 66, I have 60 years of experience compared to you at 2%. When I go back to 2%, I plus 60 years of experience that you don't have. You only plus 20.
times 3, sir. Times 3.
Yeah, you can start working out the mathematics. I like it. Maybe it's times that 10 to the power of 3.
That's immortal, sir.
Yeah.
That will be immortal.
Yeah, you see, the 3 can be in different position. It could be on top of a 0, a 10. Yeah. So this
Yes.
is of lively conversation. It's not even a debate. Idea sharing, right?
Yes, sir.
As long as you have the energy, you don't feel tired like me. I don't feel tired at all. I just keep talking. Because new idea make you want to talk. Make you happy. That you're meeting so many people listening in and sharing ideas. Huh? I could have started like Maya, don't say much. And Emma. Seriously, many years ago. So why spend 20 years to change yourself to this level? Why not 2 years? Why not 2 months? Why not 2 days later start talking like me? See, these are again life experiences that voice can exchange ideas. Because like Maya, I was like Emma, I don't talk before. There's nothing to talk about when it's not interesting. So we just let the creativity go down if we don't talk. What new ideas can come about if we don't talk? You know, we cannot just stare at each other like now. Her. I only see a white figure there. I can't even see her face. I can't see her emotion. So what idea have I got exchanging if you don't talk? And do you need to be physically present to each other, face to face, or is this face to face? Is it what they call the new norm? A funny word, new norm. Yeah, it's called the new norm. We meet each other as if we are physically seeing each other. To me, no difference, except the difference is I can reach out 1,000 times more effective than face-to-face. Maybe more. Maybe more times than 1,000. So again, by talking, by exchanging, by networking, we save a lot of time, isn't it? Right now, if we don't talk like this, do you think you're going to do the 5 months or a few days? See, it's life.
Few days, sir.
It's life
I
experience.
think 5.
Yeah,
Yes, sir. Continue, sir.
if we don't have the chance to listen to talking, like Gabriel talking, it could very well be a few months, 2 months. See, talking create network between brains. You link the brains together if they are willing to talk. If they're not willing, of course, you cannot link them together. But Gabriel is very willing. I am very willing. Miro is very willing. You need to connect to the other side that is willing to exchange. And you will see the difference. The process is just starting. It's the willingness to spend time. Gabriel was willing to spend time from the first day I talked to him until today, non-stop. Look at his gain in knowledge, in confidence, in friendship. Minus this chance meeting, he will be who he is. With the project finished in 5 months. Because of that chance meeting, he has now 5 countries' friends that he can tell the Australian government in Cameroon. He's waiting for a call from the honorary consul either tomorrow, Monday, which is a holiday in Cameroon, or Tuesday, to tell this Bhutanese story, to tell this Cameroon story, to tell this Australian story, to tell this Malaysian, Brunei story. See? Or do we have more important things to do?
I think so. I think it's time to sign up. So sign off.
I think we better go for dinners.
Okay, so it was really a good time with you and other friends. Good time, sir. Really a productive session.
It's likewise from here too. Every minute of tonight, if you know how to measure time, a ruler that can measure tonight against other nights, see whether there's any difference. Thank you very much, Ratna. You've been a champion. And
thank you, sir. I will work hard for to become a hero for my king and my people.
Wow.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Before you go, it's as simple as 5 minutes tonight. Write a dear Elon Musk letter and put into the group chat.
Okay, sir.
And challenge him to run. Don't send it yet. I'm not asking to send it. I'm just saying share ideas first as to how well you can present him that you have the solution. Thank you.
I'll do that, sir. I'll do that.
Do that.
Thank you.
And get help.
Bye-bye, sir.
Bye. Bye for now. All the best. Thank you, Lal.
Thank you, sir.
Good luck.
Thank you.
We'll speak again.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome. Welcome. It's been a pleasure. And Pruba too. Yeshi.
Thank you, sir.
Thank
you for your knowledge.
Thank you for Thank you for your ideas. We'll share more next time. keep us informed of what's happening in Bhutan all the time. Thank you. Bye for now.
Thank you, sir.
Bye. Bye. You're together very well. Good. Thank you. Bye. We'll
Thank you,
catch up.
sir.
Most welcome. Thank you.
Okay, bye.
And